my friends, Carmen Whitehead here with you again. I am at the plant stand of Arizona in their greenhouse, and I have brought you 5 of the best beginner plants for new plant moms, plant dads, plant parents. Right now, keeping houseplants has become so very popular, especially when we're spending a lot of time indoors, and nurturing something, watching it grow can be very beneficial to your mental health and just keeping you busy, really. So these plants, if you're a newbie, brand new to plant collecting, I think will be great for you. So I'm going to go through them and show you, give you some tidbits on how to take care of them. Now this is called a Sansevieria, mother-in-law's tongue snake plant. You may have heard of it. This variety right here is the Laurentii, but there are other varieties that have different coloring on the leaves, different shapes to the leaves, but all of them will have the same type of care. These plants don't like fussing over. They don't like to be wet, so watering them once a month, every 3 weeks will be just fine. If you water them too much, in my beginner days I watered mine too much, and that's how it met a pitiful end. So don't water too much. And very free draining soil. When you pot it up, you can leave it in the nursery pot and just put it in another pot to catch the water, but you got to make sure you drain that water out, because again, it does not like wet roots, and it will do just fine for you. This does great in medium light too. Doesn't like direct sun, so it will burn it if it does get too much direct sun. Okay, so that's Sansevieria as the first plant for beginners. Now if you want to go with something that's hanging and lush and beautiful and variegated, then the golden pothos is the way to go. This plant is just beautiful. I have one at home that I've propagated many times and given away as gifts to new plant parents, one of them being my daughter, because it's so easy to take care of. It's more of a tropical plant, so watering it every 10 days or so is good, and it will let you know if it's too dry by the leaves getting a little bit thinner and a little bit weepy. Does not like to be overwatered, okay? And this one will take a little bit of morning sun, some dappled sun. High indirect light will keep the variegation up. If you put it, it can be in medium light and low light, but the variegation won't be as lush. You may get some more green leaves like this. Okay, and if you're okay with that, it's still a beautiful plant. If you have a low light or medium light area that you want to put this in, that's just fine. But do know that the variegation stays more prominent when it's in a high indirect lighting. So the golden pothos, beautiful plant to have as your first plant. Now if you want to go with something to put on a tabletop or maybe perhaps on the floor, then Ficus elastica rubber trees are the way to go. This is Ficus elastica burgundy. They have other ones like the Audrey here. This may be a little bit big to start off with. Probably start off with something this size, but Ficus elastica is a wonderful plant. It doesn't need a whole lot of water, and too much water will make the leaves drop off. As you can see, this one's getting a new leaf here, so it's doing really healthy. Another one back here, it's just beautiful. It does well in a low light situation because there's no variegation to it. Now the other Ficus elastica taniki that has the variegation on it, that may need a little bit more light, but this one is great for low light areas in your home, and it doesn't need too much fussing over as far as too much water. I would water this probably every 7 to 10 days, but the best way to check, just take your finger, plop it on down there. Now this one's just been watered, so I know that it is moist. You see the soil sticking to my finger there. So I know that it does not need watering. But if I were to stick my finger in here and it's very dry, it feels dry, comes up with no soil on it, then a good watering when the water comes out the bottom and drains out. Don't let it sit in water once it does come out. You got to get that out of the saucer or the cashpo, and it'll do great for you. So that's Ficus elastica. This one is burgundy. Now here is a hanging plant, vining plant, or it could be a climbing plant too if you put a totem pole on it. And some people may think that this Syndaptus pictus or satin pothos is a difficult plant to take care of, but I find it isn't. I would recommend this as a beginner plant because the care of it is very much like the golden pothos. This one even, the leaves will curl up like that when it's thirsty. Again, you would put your finger down in there. This one's been watered so I can feel it's moist, but if you put your finger down in there about 2 or 3 inches, don't feel any moisture at all, then it is ready for a good drink of water. Now, if you're not quite sure about using your finger, you know, you don't feel anything, you're just confused about it, I would definitely invest in a moisture meter. And they sell them here at the plant stand. You can pick one up, and the moisture meter, you put it in 3 different areas in the pot. When it reads at number 3, which is the beginning of dry, that's when you water it. But if it's in the green area where it's moist, leave it alone, check it in 2 or 3 days, and try again. And when it is just getting into that red area, that is when you water. Okay, so a moisture meter would be definitely a good investment if you're a new plant parent and just not quite sure about determining, does my plant need water? Now the last one, this baby right here. This is an Aglaonema Maria, which I particularly like the name because my first name is Maria. But this plant here is just beautiful. Aglaonemas are known for their beautiful foliage patterns. They come in the greens, pinks, variegated whites, but these are super easy plants to take care of. I have 5 in my personal collection, and they are just wonderful. They do flower too. I don't think this one has one, but the blooms look very similar to a peace lily bloom. And this one here likes to stay more on the dry side. You would think by looking at it, it's a tropical plant and it may like to be more moist. It likes to be more on the dry side. I let mine dry out pretty well, maybe water it about every 7 to 10 days. Again, I use my finger or the moisture meter to determine that, but it does like being a little bit more on the dry side. And they grow profusely. Look how full this is, still giving off new leaves there, very full. And the great thing about Aglaonemas, this genus, is that they have such a huge variety of different colors, different leaf shapes, so you can select any one of those plants and still have the same care pattern to those plants. So Aglaonema, this particular one is Maria, is a wonderful plant to start off with. Now here at the plant stand, they do recommend the Fox Farm soil. This one here, look how cute that is. Happy Frog. I love their marketing. But they recommend this for tropical plants, indoor house plants. Has everything that you need in it, that you don't necessarily have to mix your own or add to some soil mix that you bought at Lowe's or Home Depot or something. You know, I used to add worm castings and all this other stuff to it. All of that stuff comes in here already. And this is a very good, nutritious soil that is free draining. That is what you want. You don't want the water to stick around in there in the pots. You want the water to moisturize the roots and then out of the pot. Okay, so Happy Frog is definitely a great soil for you to start off with if you're repotting your new plants. Okay, there you have it, friends. These are just 5 house plants that I've picked up here at the Plant Stand of Arizona that are great for beginners. But there's many more here, and the employees here are glad to help you in selecting those and talk to you about some soil too. And they come in various sizes, so don't be afraid to buy something a little bigger or just start off with a 6-inch or 4-inch pot. Okay, that's all for today, friends. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a like, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.